What's up, Bender?
Hey, Gary. This is trying to put some finishing touches on these JL fenders. I think we're going to incorporate a little light right in there for turn signal and stuff. But overall, this red JL is doing pretty good. Looking pretty smooth. The other red JL, well, that's a different story. This one we've done a lot of work on. I think the last time we checked in, we were just doing the cage and we were starting to fit the rear axle in this thing. But since then, kind of rusty, but real quick, this is what we took to cut out the inside of the body. There's not a whole lot of intrusion inside. Not pretty, but this whole thing is going to get undercoated. Let me raise it up just a little bit. So much stuff. Before we get too far, check this out. Here's the second version. On the driver's side is the first version. This is version 2.0. These welds will be gone, but check this out. This is a double layer aluminum door. Check this out. This is a double layer aluminum door. Has a pocket. We're going to make provisions for speaker, but all the stuff, stoppers. But those are some cool doors, and we're making provisions for the top of this to work with a desktop truck top, so a soft upper. As far as I know, the only aluminum doors out there that can run a soft upper. Let's see, what else we've been on? We got the rear axle in it, running 16-inch ORIs. Made these really cool shock mounts that sit in here, as you saw, inside the body, so it almost looks factory. The frame is really cool, and we're going to use a rock jock, a sway bar, so it'll all work in conjunction with the stock frame in here, like that. So Motobilt shaved 14-bolt cover, so it's a 13-bolt, real high clearance. You see all the inside of the frame's all nice and smooth. There's a fuel tank. I think we talked about that very first episode. That sits in here, made room for all the 4-link. You see the upper bars are bent just a little bit, but that's to keep this stock K-member in here, this cross member, and then that will be where the sway bar runs. But that little bit of twist keeps this thing super low. The sway bar ends. But you see we have lots of clearance from the shock and the frame. This thing's bottomed out. It'll go up about another ½ an inch. Real minimal trimming. It still clears, but I'm gonna trim this fender out just a little bit, and then we'll start working on body armor. Here's version 1.0 of the doors. So we changed a little bit of the front and better match the body lines. You can see the Trek top upper for this soft top, making little adapters that go from the side hardware that'll go onto our cage, this JL cage. Man, there's so much stuff going on. Let's see. Here's where it gets kind of tricky. This is a 16-inch ORI. People, 16-inch shock with a steering box. It's actually a 16-inch. Now we're doing a PSE hydro assist box, but this thing, we still have no bind. This is a 16-inch shock on this thing. We're getting full lock on a 73-inch wide fusion axle steering box with a 16-inch shock. Those of you know that's not easy to do. The misalignment at the Pitman Armor drag link, that's a big deal. But we got enough misalignment there. The check bar bracket, this is kind of a final revision. We're gonna make a nice laser cut version. This is one I fabbed up. The shock mount, this shock mount's a little goofy looking. This is a dual shock mount I cut up just so we can mock the shock and get the location right. We're gonna come up another inch, out a little bit, but there's a lot of room, a lot of frame clearance, even with that track bar. There's a lot of stuff cut off here. So this will be a lot cooler looking. Neat part is you can run a 16-inch. We're just hitting on the tube, steering box, everything clears at bottom. Didn't have to remove any of the ABS stuff, any of the windshield washer stuff, none of the brake junk. And on the other side, it's not mucked up yet, but we don't have to move any of the battery box. So it's a really kind of a clean install, even to be running 16-inch shocks on this thing. And those ORIs are big, so you'll be able to run a 2.5-inch coilover. Then the front. So this is one I've been beating myself up on. I think we're gonna do a mini frame chop from the body mounts forward. Again, it's a really nice high tuck frame. So I think we're gonna cut the frame off, and then If you're familiar with the TJ front bumper, it's a front half kit. So it comes really high up and in, incorporates a winch mount, but it's a really high clearance thing. Charles Hanson's little tan TJ. So it's gonna be a variant of that. I think we're gonna run a really nice size. So frame chop this, little mini chop, bring the front up so the bumper will actually be in here. Kind of taper down. I think that'll look pretty cool. It'll tie itself in good. But you look at this thing, this all flexed out now just to make sure that we're clearing on tires and that we don't have any fitment issues. No dragging, no binding. Everything works out pretty good. But I say but a lot, but there's a lot of buts in this rig. Everything's working out really well. You say we've been real busy. Black Friday's been kind of a pain. We've hired a bunch more people, sent out a bunch of stuff, all trying to keep and making forward progress on this thing. But again, she's turning out pretty cool.